Hey guys, it's John, small town, small time bookseller, coming to you with another video, which means, yay, I sold some books, yahoo! And so I'm going to tell you about them. That's what I do. I don't do garage sale videos, I don't do the yard sale videos, I don't do the GoPros, you know, at the Goodwill bins, and looking at my hands with a web of reddish veins moving toward the center of a low ceiling, stopping for a moment at a light bulb held by a frayed wire, and then falling on a stack of Japanese vocabulary cards. No, yeah. So desu ne. Ah, totemo sugoi. Not at all. So we're just going to talk about books that have sold. I hope the cacophony of the maddening cacophony of insects and birds in the background doesn't just drive you to want to crush my skull with a felt-covered brick or something. I understand if it does. But hopefully it will not, and we'll get through this skulls intact, preferably. This is going to cover April 16th through the end of April. So that's going to be those 2 weeks there. I had a total of 30 sales, 25 books and 5 not books. And we had some good ones in here, so I hope you'll stick around for it. So we're going to start right off. Oh, I didn't think about this. There's also going to be trucks passing out in front. And because I live in Texas, yes, it's only going to be trucks that pass out in front. All right, anyhow, we'll see how this goes. I may have to record this again afterwards and decide, but I hope not. Anyhow. All right, the first sale that we're going to talk about. So once again, I need to tell you one other thing. So I always go from the least valuable to the most valuable sale, just to build up the suspense a little bit. But I must also tell you that the tragedies continue to befall the small time bookseller. Last time I told you about the bin drop in Lake Jackson that closed down. That was where I got a lot of my books. Well, now my Goodwill bins up in Houston, the main place I get my books. They didn't get rid of books, but they did raise the price. So they've been $3 for $1 forever since I started doing this. $2 for $1 now. Not as bad as some of you people out there who are, you know, slugging through having to pay by the pound on those books, but $2 for $1 is not $3 for $1. So now I'm paying 50 cents a book rather than 33 cents a book. So that was rough today. I was putting my stack on there, and I had made in my mind, and when she told me the price, I was like, my math skills have really deteriorated, I believe. And then I looked on the wall and I saw the new sign. I don't think they raised the price of anything else, just the books, but they put books and media together now. So it used to be like if you're getting DVDs or CDs, that would be separate and they'd be by weight, but now it's media is $2 for $1. So it's still pretty cheap, I guess. But we're gonna, so moving forward on. Okay, so I think we can go ahead and get into this. Let's do it. All right, first sales was this one. I had the Q-Link, which I've been selling for months and months. I sold 3 of those this month for $7.75 each. Get a couple bucks every time those sell. That's my one thing that I do free shipping on. So moving on, our first $10 sale is the Trading Bible for Beginners. The trading is a good genre. A lot of, not a lot of expensive books in that genre, it seems like, but a lot of, you know, $10 books do sell. The next one, Forced Passages, Imprisoned Radical Intellectuals. Right. Oh, maybe that's Radical Intellectuals, not Radical Intellectuals, but still sold for $10. I think intellectuals are pretty rad, but, you know, that's because I grew up in the 80s. Everything was rad back then. All right, the next one. This is a vintage metals and how to weld them from 1967. Got this one actually at a garage sale. There is no video evidence of that. You just have to take my word. And that sold for $10. So then the next one, we have Walking About Old Moscow, which sold for $10 as well. A couple DVDs next. These come from my buddy Laxman. Laxman in Portugal. Hey, buddy. And this was, first one is Ponyo, which sold for $10. Ponyo. I don't, Ponyo, I'm guessing. And the next one after that is Laugh It Up Fuzzball, The Family Guy, Star Wars Trilogy. If you haven't watched those, you got to. They're wonderful. And that's sold for $15. So there's a couple of nice ones once again. All right, moving on. We have Hitler's Chariots, Volume 1, sold for $15. Because really what you need to know about Hitler boils down to what kind of car was he in. That's really the most important thing that can be taken away from that point of history. And then we have... there we go. Designing, leading life-changing workshops, $17, and I actually sold 2 of those. So, I really, I hope somebody in my office area, my workplace, might have gotten a hold of one of those. It'd be nice. Then we're going on to Mountain Cooking with Missy, sold for $17. Didn't know you could cook a mountain, did you? Well, Missy knows how. And then we have the next one after that is, I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding my spot. Here we go. Breakfast of Champions, which is not mountains, but Breakfast of Champions by Kurt Vonnegut. This is a first edition, second printing, which sold for $18. It wasn't in real good condition. If you have a good condition of a second printing, $30 to $40. If you have a first edition, first printing of this book, it's over $100. So this is a good one to look out for, even in a second printing. A lot of times, your first editions, first printings are the only desirable ones. But in this case, the second printing still carries a pretty good value. And then we have the Education of Little Tree. This is a $20 book. And the reason this one had a little more value is it's from University of New Mexico Press. So good tip if you ever find books that are from university presses. Often they are, they make fewer of them. Often it's a rather esoteric topic, and this one's not. This is a well-known book, but often they will be, historical or biographical or something that, is very localized to that where the university is. But this one is, pretty well-known one, but still it did carry that $20 value because it's not just a paperback from a mass market publisher. It's from the University of New Mexico Press. So, and then we have Microsoft Office 365 for beginners, which sold for $20. And next we have the Preppers Long-Term Survival Handbook, sold for $22. I hope it made it to them on time. Then we have the American Catholic Etiquette. This is another vintage book, which is sold for $23 from 1965. And then we have after that, this is How the Illuminati Create an Undetectable Total Mind-Controlled Slave. $25. Reminds me of Pinky and the Brain. What are we going to do today? The same thing we do every day. Find out how the Illuminati create an undetectable, total mind-controlled slave. Then we are going on to, where are we going on after that? Psychiatric Interview. So I've sold several of these. If you see these, pick it up. It sells pretty quickly. I've sold 3 or 4 of them by now, I think. $25 for the Psychiatric Interview. Then we have Global Marketing, which is a 9th edition, which sold for $30. You were moving on up, $30 now. Excuse me. All right, my next one, the CPT 2022 Professional Edition. I actually found the 2023 edition of this, which sells for like $100 or more. And so I knocked down the price of my 2022 and then it sold. It did sell still for $33.75. But that's one I knocked it down and I took an offer on that one. So I thought, it's getting old. The new one's out. So often when the new version of something comes out, you can expect that the older versions will go down in value. The DSM-5, I mentioned this maybe last video where I'd had an accompanying handbook that went with this that sold. Well, this is the actual DSM-5, which sold for $35. The next one was a combined sale. So the combined value of the 2 books was $35. That's why it's here in this order. But the 2 books are sold where it's a great combination of books. I just love that somebody bought these 2 books together, We had Curious George in Japanese for $20. And then the same buyer also bought Molas, the folk art of the Kuna Indians, which sold for $15. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we have Straight Up Bible. A lot of times we talk about religion sales. Often it's commentaries, it's things like that. But this is a really nice Bible. This is a red letter. It's called the Master Arts Edition. Beautiful leather-bound Bible. Sold for $43. So the guy, when he got it, he gave me some really good positive feedback, said it's heirloom quality, really, really happy with it. So that's a really nice one to look out for, the Master Arts Edition Red Letter Bible. Next one we had was Fawcett's Washington Pharmacy Law. This is one that when I was pricing it, I didn't know quite where to price it at. I didn't see any of this edition on eBay. Went to Amazon and saw some there, and I priced it a little bit below Amazon. I figure a lot of people have free shipping on Amazon, so I want to be competitive with that, so I did price it lower than Amazon. So that one went for $54 though, so that's still pretty good. The next one was the Laser Fund. Pew, 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 pew. That sold for $60, so look out for that one. That's a good one too, Laser Fund. And then we're moving on. Oh, one of my next highest selling book this month, this week, this video, this time right here was a cookbook. It is this one, Lu Chow's German Cookbook, sold for $60. So I had a really good conversation with the buyer here, going back and forth. He asked me some very specific questions about it. And he, according to him, he has this book, but he said that it's very difficult to find it with a good dust jacket. To find it with a dust jacket at all, much less a really good one. So this one had a pretty good dust jacket with it. So if you see Lu Chow's German Cookbook, that'd be a good one to look up. And for that one sold for $60. So pretty happy about that. And then we had the last one, the big sale is Silencing the Fields, a guide to reducing AC magnetic fields. It sold for $99. I may have really undervalued this book, and it sold for $99 within a day because there was nothing on eBay. There's no comps sold or listed. Amazon had one copy available for $400. You see that a lot. You look up a book, it's got one for $400, and then a bunch that are selling for $20. So I thought, you know, $400 guy's never going to get $400 for this book. I thought, I'm just going to put it up high and then research it, you know, see if that is, you know, a thing. So I put up $99. Like I say, it sold within a day. So I kind of catered to a lot of conspiracy theorist kind of people this time, right? I'm guessing reducing magnetic fields, maybe like the tin hat people. I'm not sure exactly. But then we also had the Illuminati. We had the preppers. We had the German Cookbook. Like that's a thing. So it's kind of fun. I had a bunch of the crazies come by from my shop this time. If you bought any of those, you're not crazy. It's all. I apologize for that. So that's it, though. That's my list for this time. I hope you got something there useful. I have something I want to show you. I'm hoping to get some feedback if any of you. Oh, let me go through our totals first. So that was 25 books for $708.75. Not bad for half a month, am I right? And so that gives you an average of $28.35, which is over the $25 made up and completely arbitrary figure that I've decided is a good sales period. And then my Nota books, I had 5 Nota books, which came to $48.25. Did I make it? Did I do it? I did. $9.65. You can see it's written right here. My projection was $9.65. And that's what I got. So total was $757 for the roughly half a month. So that's not bad for, you know, part-time. I spend, you know, not much time. Usually during the week, I list a few books, I pack a few books while I'm watching a show, watching a game or something. I go sourcing a couple times a month to the Goodwill bins. Occasionally, I'll stop by a local library, which is right by work. often on my lunch break. I'll go to the library, local Goodwill, the Goodwill, and also thrift stores. So I'm not putting in a whole lot of time into this. So if you're interested in doing something like this, now the thing is I've built up right now, I've got about 1,350 listings right now. So I got a lot of listings. So selling, this was 30 sales in 15 days. So right about 2 a day is what I'm averaging. I'm trying to, as I'm selling things throughout the day, I'm thinking if I can get $43 of sales a day, take that 15% off, which is roughly what it is with the eBay fees and then the shipping, which they pay for shipping, but you know, that turns around, I have to pay for it. And then I figured that if I do that, that gets me down to around that $30, $31 a day average, which puts me at around $1,000 a month. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's kind of what my goal is right at this point to do. If I can average $41 to $43 in sales per day, I'm good. That's what I'm happy. And not in whatever you see, but actually book sales is what I kind of figured that at. So it's a $40 book. They're gonna pay taxes and shipping on that. eBay takes their fees off the total, the 40 plus the shipping plus the fees. They take their total off of that. Then I get that money, what's left over, and then I pay out the shipping from there. So that's kind of roughly figured about 15% from the price of the book is what I always figure roughly that I'll get in the bank account or after fees and after shipping. So anyhow, hey, any of you people know much about golf? I want to show you something I picked up at the Goodwill bins. I don't know if it's anything or not. It's this. See that? All right. Pinehurst pin flag. And this little gold thing here says 2003 Team Champions, August 12th through 17th, Pinehurst Resort. And it was sold at Birchfield's Golf Gallery in Village of Pinehurst, North Carolina. So, Goodwill bins, I looked up some of those flags. It seemed like they had some value. I saw some that said made in China that were like $10, $15, but it seemed like these that were actually taken off the greens at the tournament were $80 to $100. I asked if I could just take the flag out and leave the frame. They said no, so I had to buy the whole thing, which ended up being about $6 because it's sold by weight. So, anybody know anything about these? Would it be more valuable framed like this? Or, because that would, if I take it out of the frame, that's a very easy thing to mail. In the frame, it's not. So I'm trying to decide if it's worth keeping it in the frame. Is that going to raise the price enough to make it the difficulty I'd have of actually boxing this thing up? And also, what am I going to sell it for? How much? Is it worth more? If I could sell the flag for $80, I'd have to sell the frame thing for maybe $120 to make it worth the extra effort that it'll take to make sure this thing doesn't break in shipment. Hoping you could help. If you know anyone who knows a lot about golf or memorabilia, things like that, let me know what you think. So, that's my video for today. I hope it came through. I hope I'm not too dark. And hopefully like I said, everything out there. And hopefully maybe I gotta freak out my neighbors a little bit right there. You guys, right? Where am I at? Right there. You rue the day you built a house next to me, Colton. Colton's very nice. We're pleased to have him and his wife next door, actually. So anyhow, that's it for today. That was less than 20-minute video. I can't think of anything else I need to say. I hope you guys are doing well and selling the heck out of a bunch of stuff. And I'll probably be talking to you next time, all right? Adios.